you guys love puppets, right? Obviously Matthew has got Puppet Jack, Tom has got Barry the Shark, and these are great merchandising opportunities for Cultaholic. So I've been on the lookout for a little while for a puppet of my own, and I was walking past a charity shop yesterday, and look what I saw in the window. Hello! Isn't he funny? His name is Chimp Jericho. Hello! Chimp Jericho, what's your favourite wrestling match? Women don't find you attractive and you're going to die alone. Yeah. Let's take a look at the headlines. An NXT star has suffered a potentially serious injury on last night's show. There was a big title change on last night's Dynamite, and Renee Young is returning to WWE. Kind of. We'll tell you more in a bit. So we are kicking things off with some pretty crap news indeed. NXT are having a rough old time of it at the moment as far as injuries are concerned. Obviously you've got Karrion Kross off with a separated shoulder. You've got Finn Balor, the NXT champion, off with a broken jaw. We'll tell you a bit more about that very shortly. Tegan Nox, torn ACL. It's a bit of a disaster, and there's unfortunately another one to add to the list. We are talking about Ridge Holland, who suffered what looked like a pretty scary injury during last night's NXT show. So, he had just had a match with Danny Burch, and then after the match, he keeps attacking Burch, outruns Lorcan to save the day. Lorcan ends up going for a dive to the outside, and as you can see from this picture right here, it looks like he's tweaked his leg. To be honest, it looks like a broken ankle. We don't know that yet. It could be a multitude of things. It could be a knee injury. It could be ankle injury. We don't know. We don't have an update on what it is. But it does look pretty bad, to be honest. It looked rough. The referee, you see them throw the X, and then he is stretchered away. This is definitely not a work. One good sign is that as he was being stretchered away, he gave the thumbs up, so that's good, but it was very clearly a real thing. And what timing for this to happen. Obviously, a takeover on Sunday night, Ridge Holland was seen in the closing moments of the show having attacked Adam Cole, holding him over his shoulder, and it looks like he was about to get the push of his NXT career. Not that he's been there for too long or anything, but they obviously had big plans for him. And I would assume now that those plans are going to have to be postponed. We will keep you updated. All of us here at Cultaholic send our best to you, Rich. From NXT-related injury news all the way to NXT-related injury news. This time we have an update on NXT champion Finn Balor, who had a blinder of a match with one Kyle O'Reilly on Sunday night at TakeOver 31. It was brutal. It was hard-hitting. There was a lot of blood from the mouths, and it ended quite abruptly, but we now know the reason why that was the case. So we got an injury update from the medical staff, and we got an injury update from Finn himself. Last night on NXT, Dr. Jeffrey Westerfield, gave us an update on Finn. He said, that match was so hard-hitting. What a mark. Do your job, pal. I'm joking. It's amazing. I don't know how the two of them got through that match. Unfortunately, there is absolutely no chance that Kyle's going to be able to make TV this week. Finn had 2 fractures in his jaw. Once the swelling goes down in a couple of days, Finn is going to be able to talk very sparingly. He can't even talk at the moment. Obviously, it's going to have him out for a little bit of time. It was fairly obvious that a broken jaw was going to be the case at the end of the match. Finn's head was completely misshapen at the bottom. It looked like somebody had lobbed a potato against a wall. It was pretty gruesome. And Finn, tweeting out before NXT started last night, about an hour before the show started, he tweeted out some x-rays of his jaw showing those fractures. Those are pretty brutal as well, and he accompanied that with the following: I got time. I got a broken jaw in 2 different places to prove it. He's got the fire, but you gotta fight fire with fire. Is that teasing another match? Fight some more fire with some more fire? Yes, please. Just be careful, lads. A lot of people are asking, is this title reign going to be as good as the last? I think they just got their answer. So, what does that mean for the NXT title? He seems to indicate there that he is not going to be relinquishing that anytime soon, which is great because he's having a great run at the moment. He's having a great run. I think he was sort of, obviously injury held him back, especially with the Universal title stuff on the main roster. Now he's back in NXT, really feeling it again. I'm really loving Finn at the moment. Not quite full heel, sort of showing tweener characteristics, like the show of respect after the match on Sunday night was really, really nice. Just a really bloody good wrestler who wants to kick ass and prove that he's the best. And he makes the NXT title feel very, very important indeed. We will keep you updated. And Finn, get well soon as well, mate. Next up, a big title change on last night's AEW Dynamite, and a title change that has certainly got wrestling fans talking, for better or for worse. We'll get there in just a second. I am, of course, referring to the dog collar match between Cody and Brody Lee for the TNT title. So, great match, first of all. Really worth watching. If you just watch the recaps here on Cultaholic, find that match and have a gander, because it is really great. Bloody and emotional, told a great story, and then Cody wins. And it's got a lot of fans talking. I don't know quite how I feel about this. I feel like there are positives and there are negatives. I'll go through some of those in a little bit. So, really great match. After the match, he cuts a brilliant babyface promo about how people were expecting him to turn to the dark side. But he does it for the fans, and he's a good guy and all that. It was great. You know a Cody promo by now. One of the best talkers in the biz. He really makes you feel it, doesn't he? But yeah, fans have responded very poorly. These are just a few replies to the announcement that Cody had won the title on AEW's Twitter page. Stevie Wonder, 1369. I haven't made that up, I promise. 2003 Triple H, but the far inferior version. Crazy Thomas, 732. Dude literally has to be an executive in a wrestling company to get a title. Pathetic. U4548, numbers, lots of numbers. AEW, you are dead to me. You are worse than my uncle. So, obviously, U45, etc. Not happy about that, especially. Worst than his uncle. So yeah, a lot of backlash online, and I see where they're coming from, right? Because Brody he feels the biggest that he has in his AEW career. In fact, probably in his whole wrestling career. And now he's a transitional champion. But on the positive side, Cody's babyface promo after sort of made me forgive him a little bit, because it was so good. And more importantly, I think there are lots and lots of different storyline avenues that they can go down here. In that Cody's just cut that promo, but he's got a match next week for the title against Orange Cassidy. What if he loses it to a big joke of a wrestler like Orange Cassidy is perceived to be? Maybe that could spur on a heel turn there. I'm just thinking other possibilities here. There are other ways that they can go with this. One of the issues as well is that Brody Lee now, like some people are saying, oh, that's okay because Brody can go and challenge for the world title now. He's already had a go, hasn't he? And I don't see them doing that again so soon after he was beaten by Jon Moxley. So yeah, there are pros and there are cons. I understand the concerns that have been laid out there by the likes of Crazy Thomas and Stevie Wonder. But we'll see where they go, because I think AEW knew that this reaction would be coming, and so they probably got a decent plan in place. They probably got a decent storyline in mind. So before you spout off, like those guys, just give it a little bit of time. Us wrestling fans can be pretty impatient, and now is one of the times that I think we need to be a bit more patient. Next up, Renee Young is back in WWE. Ish. Kind of. Not really. But we are going to see her on our screens once again in a WWE capacity, and we won't have to wait very long at all. Renee Young left WWE back in August and had quite an emotional send-off. Understandable for somebody who had been with the company for as long as she had, and for somebody who was really, really tremendously well-liked backstage, and for somebody who's really, really good at her job. truly miss her, actually. I think she's so good at what she does. But yeah, we won't have to wait long to see her again. This Friday night on SmackDown is the WWE Draft. Then next week is the first of what is sort of being perceived as a new season of SmackDown, with a whole new SmackDown roster. And Fox are doing a pre-show, and it's going to be hosted by Booker T and Renee Young. And that's great, because Booker T and Renee Young have great chemistry together. Booker is obviously mental, and Renee Young holds it together. And I guess this is a nice indication that Renee is still on decent terms with WWE if they're willing to bring her back for this. Adds a little bit of name value as well, a familiar face. And so, yeah, I'm definitely gonna tune in to watch it. Who knows what Renee Young is gonna do next full time, but it'll be nice to see her back talking about the dub once more. And finally, just a quick one. We've got some backstage details on the vignettes that aired to hype the return of Ember Moon. It was a fantastic return, and I missed it live. I was doing a stream as well, and I was full of wine, and I thought, oh, Toni Storm, that's it. She's in NXT, brilliant. That's cool. So I went for a quick Jimmy Riddle, and then while I was doing that, Ember Moon came out, and then I had to watch it after the show. Good job, Adam. But it was very good, wasn't it? Anyway, Ember Moon has been talking to Sports Illustrated, and she said, she's basically revealed the inspiration behind those videos. She said, when I learned I was headed to NXT, the whole motorcycle package was an idea I had after watching an action movie called Hardcore Henry. No idea. I've seen Horrid Henry. Maybe she means that. The NXT creative team is absolutely amazing, and they got this massive set for me. I wanted elements of The Masked Singer so we could have clues to keep people guessing. And they were like, let's do it. There's a video game I play, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, not a clue, where there are these two dueling voices and you have to listen closely, and we did something similar for the surprise, which was absolutely amazing. I have no pissing idea what she's on about there, not a clue. But it was a great return, and it's good to see her back, and she had a rough time of it once again. I feel like I'm always saying this, but she had a rough time of it on the main roster, so hopefully she does great things once again in NXT. That's your lot. Enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you're doing. I will see you next podcast tomorrow, and then I'm doing a live stream for the draft. You can set a reminder at youtube.com/cultaholic/live. SmackDown draft. Cannot bloody wait. We all love a draft, don't we? Get the tombola machine out and all that. So it's bye from me, and I'm going to get this over. It's Chimp Jericho once again. It's the best I could come up with on short notice. It's bye from me, and it's bye from him. Your parents don't love you. Great stuff. Content.